All right, welcome back to the 725 Long Beach podcast. As you know, I'm here with my fellow co-mentor, Rosemary Dannon. And, again, we're moving along. We got, this is episode 6.
Oh, wow.
I know, I love it. And we have a great show today.
We do. And actually, I have to take you back about a year and a couple months when one of our volunteers said something about the Olympics. And then it's like, yeah, they're coming. And it's, what does this mean to small business?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a tsunami of money coming.
Yes, I've heard that.
Okay,
Yep.
what money? Where money? What are we talking about? So trying to figure out how to make that really a reality for small businesses. How does that work? And it all falls under one word called procurement. Something I thought was a medical procedure before I heard that word. So enter Dorita Ellsworth. Amazing
Dorita
score
Ellsworth.
mentor. Previously, she was a corporate executive. She's got this really awesome career, and she becomes an entrepreneur herself, a solo entrepreneur, and starts learning the procurement process from her score mentor. So this is not only an origin story and a great story of passing on knowledge, working together, and really lifting us all up. So Dee becomes this amazing machine in understanding the government contracting process, and I'm going to let her get more into how this all works. But so this is how we got here. In the last year, we've done these amazing workshops that Dee has orchestrated, and we really brought in all the major government entities. And we've probably done more hands-on workshops focused on the small business than anyone has in the last few years. And the hands-on being the difference, that we literally, Dee makes it so when they're there, they're on their laptop, they're doing it, they're getting through the process, and they're getting contracts, most importantly. So Dee, welcome.
Dee, welcome.
Oh, from
my
the bottom
goodness.
of my heart. You have made
Wow.
an astonishing difference.
What an intro.
Oh, well, thank you. I feel like that's not me, but thank you.
Oh, it is.
Thank you
Oh, it
so
is.
much. I appreciate that.
No, well done. Well done.
Thank you.
So we want to kind of start at I love that origin story kind of label or title, but we want to start from the start,
Yes.
right? So I did a little research on you,
Ooh,
a little
what'd you
fun
find?
fact,
What'd you find?
a little fun fact. I understand you were cum laude?
Yes, I graduated with my bachelor's, summa cum laude, business administration.
We have a Smartie.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
How cool is that?
yeah.
Very cool. I got the special
Congratulations.
tassels and thank
Wow.
you.
So you have used your degree in business administration to
To administer business.
How unique.
how unique. Well, I have a degree in
Yes.
philosophy and religious studies. Exactly.
I mean, I try to do what I teach clients to do,
Yeah.
which is implement the knowledge and always be a learner.
Yeah.
I'm very inquisitive. I ask a lot of questions, and I like to learn. And if I ask a question, it's genuinely for my understanding
Mhm.
because I want to know. I'm very curious, and I don't want to know just to hoard the knowledge. Can I do this? I
Right.
want to know because can I put it into practice?
So I love that. So stepping back, then you spent a couple decades in corporate America
I did in my prior life.
in your prior life.
It's funny. We always talk about corporate as before and after.
Before, yeah. So I want to ask you because those of us who've come out of corporate, it can be tough, but I think at bottom we learn a lot, right? So what has influenced you, kind of as you look back over your corporate experience? What influenced you looking forward, and influenced you in the activities and kind of the expertise, the mentoring, the skill sets you have now for yourself, your clients, for mentoring?
I think just being in corporate in general, again, I spent over 20 years in the corporate arena servicing other businesses. So I started with Pitney Bowes Management Services, and people think of Pitney Bowes as just, oh, you're the mailing machine people.
Mhm.
But we were so much more than that. We were admin professionals, outsourced, contracted admins. So we would show up to the client location and serve the client in their location.
Okay.
So if you call, say, Lexus Toyota,
Mm-hmm.
and the receptionist answers, that's not a Lexus Toyota employee. That was one of my employees.
Oh, wow.
That's Pitney
Okay.
Bowes. So we're servicing their reception, hospitality, admin, customer service. That's what we did, B2B. And so I
Wow.
picked up all those skills, all that knowledge.
You were outsourcing or that.
I was outsourcing and
Yeah,
contracting
yeah,
my entire career
yeah.
in
Oh,
the
wow.
commercial
From end to
sector,
end.
from end to end.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
Didn't know that.
And so I just took all of those experiences. I was always on special task force, going out to do audits and it's staffing correct, accurate. Again, asking questions, not just doing my job, but what's the job of the next person? After I do my piece, how does it impact the next person? Let me understand your process.
Mm.
So if it's something I need to clean up on my end to make it easier for you.
So kind of the integrated workflow was what you were kind of basically learning how to maximize,
Exactly.
right?
Maximizing the end to end work. Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. And
cool.
how we can all work better together, more efficiently to better serve the client. I'm all about better serving the client.
So as you learn how to kind of optimize the workflow and you're kind of taking this all in as a sponge and then you're kind of expressing it outward, how did those learnings then move into an influence and express themselves in your entrepreneur steps?
Well, I used to, I thought back a long time ago in my very first business. I was in elementary and always had the entrepreneur spirit. Like I would iron for my uncles for like $2 a pair of pants. So I was started as a hustler, like most
Yeah,
kids.
yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't have the lemonade stand, the hot dog cart. I'll iron for $2 a pair of pants, $3 a shirt. Your creases are going to be nice and crisp.
Wow, yeah, I love that.
Fast forward to high school, and hopefully the statute of limitation is gone. But to get off campus, you would need these parental signed forms and the
I know
off
where
campus
this is
lunch
going.
passes. I couldn't get a lunch pass. My mom wouldn't sign the lunch pass. You're safer on campus. I don't know where you are if you leave campus. Okay, that's fine. So I created my lunch pass. It got me off campus. It got through security.
Oh my goodness.
And so I would just say I generated a business for myself.
I knew there was something
I
special
love
about
that.
you.
I love that.
I've always been an entrepreneur.
Oh,
And
yes.
so what I learned from Pitney
And a
Bowes-
problem solver.
and a problem,
clearly.
and a
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
solver.
That is a problem-solving
Exactly. I
moment.
serve the people. I see the issue. I fix the issue. But what I learned from Pitney and having the book of clients that I did was we were encouraged to take ownership of our book of business. So it wasn't corporate. Yeah, they had the mandates. We had rules we had to follow. But I was ultimately responsible for generating profit for my client, for generating cost savings, for implementing process. I had to own the
Yeah,
business.
yeah, right.
And so when I got tired of owning the business for others, I thought, well, can I own the business for myself?
Right. Love
Hence, let's leave corporate 2.5 years ago
That's
and
it?
start my own business.
When did you come to SCORE?
I came to SCORE in 2022 and I had my SCORE mentor. I was a client. He's helping me build my business, which was totally the opposite of corporate. I started off branding and printing and logo creation, web design, that sort of thing. To be a creative, I was tired of reading and studying, and I just wanted to be free. I wanted to do something totally different.
Mhm.
And so he helped me build that business. And then one day he goes, Dee, you should be a mentor. And I thought, are you kicking me to the curb? Like, is that my cue? Our sessions are done. And
That
so
is the highest honor.
I'm like, no, I still need you. And he's like, I'll keep meeting with you, but you should be a mentor. So I thought, okay, he's kicking me to the curb. And so I signed up to be a mentor. And now here we are over 100 clients later. And
Wow.
yeah,
And how many workshops and how
And
much
exactly.
accomplished, which
Yes.
is really, frankly, amazing.
So I do have stats to our workshop. So going back to what Rosemary said last year about one of the mentors saying something about the Olympics, I heard that, and from a small business owner, I'm thinking, okay, well, how can I use that in my business as well, and how can I leverage that and make sure I stay connected?
Mhm.
So again, coming from corporate, I'm on all the special task force. I'm raising my hand to volunteer because I do want to learn new things. And we're just thinking and brainstorming, well, what do we teach our clients? What do they need to know about the Olympics?
Mhm.
They're going to need to know how to secure the contracts. They're going to need to know where to make the connections. My mentor, my SCORE mentor, just happened to be called out of retirement to go back and consult for the government. I attended one workshop with him
Wow.
to learn how to get your NAICS codes, to learn how to sign up and register, get certified. And I thought, okay, there's so much more here. And then when I'm genuinely interested in something, I nerd out on it. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm late nights on my laptop taking notes from workshops and seminars, and I'm just studying, studying,
Mhm.
studying, and here we are. 10 procurement workshops later, we've had 850 registered guests or registered attendees to our
Wow.
workshops,
All small
315 over 350 small business owners in attendance, over 60 small businesses certified and registered on Long Beach buys, as well as with the state of California, and 4 contracts won
Wow.
in our small business community. So it's not about hoarding the knowledge, it's applying what you learn to get
Mhm.
yourself to the next level.
One of the things I remember about you is I attended the workshop that you facilitated, and and I was, and I've shared this with Rosemary. I was so impressed with you because we had a room full of clients. You asked them to bring their laptops
Hmm.
because this is going to be an active participation,
Yes.
and you're going to execute some work and deliverables like tonight or tomorrow morning, first thing.
Yes.
And I watched you, and I think at the time you would just started to kind of get in the groove with respect to kind of gathering knowledge and understanding the process completely end to end again.
Hmm.
And I just watched you handle these totally random questions from all of these clients, and you were just knocking them out one by one n- with that confidence and that certainty. And here's where you go for this resource, and here's where you go for that. And I told Rosemary I was totally taken aback by your professionalism, the knowledge that you gained, and the way you handled the audience. I mean, it was like you can do this.
Thank you.
Yeah, it
Thank
was
you.
awesome.
I like to say I'm corporate trained. I've been
Yeah,
trained well.
exactly. It was that, and that's kind of what it felt like. I
Mhm.
mean, and so out of that meeting, you remember
I do.
right?
Hmm.
But tell us what happened after that. There was a couple things that happened after
Well,
that
first
for
I have
some
to interject.
clients.
6 a.m. the next morning, my client called me screaming that he got a contract.
That's exactly what happened,
Yeah,
right?
Hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
and
That's
it
awesome.
was a little early. I explained to
Totally
him,
awesome.
And that's why I want to have the hands-on workshop. So you're not just sitting through another Zoom webinar, which are awesome. I sit through Zoom webinars all the time. I go through the SCORE workshops.
Yeah.
But as business owners, we have long to-do list. We'll get to it. We'll get
Hmm.
to it. I'll get to it later. No, let's get to it now. Let's get to it at 9 a.m. on Monday morning. Bring your laptop. Let's do the work. Let's do it together.
Right.
well,
Because a lot of CEOs, a lot of business owners think they're in it alone. They try to go it alone. So let's put them in a room together. Let's
Right.
all learn from one another. Let's all do it together. And let's do it now. And you can finally check it off your list.
Mm.
the reality is, though, that people are intimidated by the
They are.
process
Mhm.
or completely unfamiliar with the
Hmm.
process. I'm always surprised at the naivete and so many levels of how government contracting works. That once they realize it's a. I mean, I'm so proud of what you've done because these folks never would have had a government contract without having that opportunity to sit down, focus, and have somebody literally at their side saying, it's okay, next step.
Hmm.
And that's what had to be done almost to break through this, reality where most of these contracts are won by sometimes out of state businesses.
Exactly.
People forget small businesses defined by the government is 100 employees or less.
Exactly.
So, that's a pretty,
Yeah.
tall story from the t-shirt, printer,
Exactly.
with his wife and, his
Mhm.
cousin doing
Mhm.
all the work to the folks that are, doing this on a mass level.
Hmm.
So getting the money to where it belongs at the, most foundational level of our economy, which
Right.
is small business,
Yes.
is truly, a miracle worker as far as all concerned.
Exactly. And that's what I try to stress in the workshops is you don't have to live here to do business here. In some instances, you just need a business license. So you very well could live and reside in New York City and have a LA City, a Long Beach City business license and just subcontract out the work, have boots on the ground. You live here, your boots on the ground. Get the business license. It's not that much.
That really surprised me because when I went through the process and you inspired me to go through the process, I was reading just where those licensees or those businesses are out of, given
Mhm.
by state.
I stay. Mhm.
Yeah,
It was
I
amazing
know.
how many out of state companies are doing business right here in Long Beach, and we
But
are
exactly.
not
And we're not
Not
doing the
we're not
benefiting.
doing
business
it,
here and
Yeah.
we're
right?
not benefiting.
So
Exactly.
Well, the
yeah,
fourth largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
amazing.
I mean, think it is an astronomical number
Right.
of the kind of businesses we operate here. So keeping it in state just benefits, the state.
Exactly. And it's always room for teaming and partnering with other businesses. And that's another thing I promote. You don't have to know it all. Partner with someone else with the knowledge and experience. If you don't want to go through the paperwork, that's a lot of what it is. That's what's intimidating to people. The 20 attachments they want you to print and sign and submit with your
Right.
proposal. The 30-page RFP, that the request for proposal that you'll have to go through. People don't want to take the time to go through the proposal.
So just from a high level, kind of give us, demystify, because that's what you do. You're demystifying, right, the process. This
Exactly.
big monster, you're kind of just breaking it apart, and give us kind of the top line steps through, the process to help us understand what not to be afraid of, right?
Well,
Because they're big. RFP, I haven't, what is that,
it's
right?
the request for proposal. It's can government agency is looking for someone to come in and teach how to do government contracting. So number one, if you're in construction and you don't know the first thing about securing a government contract, that's probably not going to be the opportunity for you. That opportunity is going to be better suited to your trainers, your consultants, your coaches. Know your audience. That's number one. All the different agencies in the government buy the same things. They all need services, they all need products. So when you pull the RFP, the request for proposal, it's simply that the government needs a product or service and they want to know, can you as the small business owner deliver? How do you know that? How do you know if you can deliver? Go to the scope of work. Sometimes it's in the table of contents, find it, go to that page, or either do a control F search, find the scope of work. Read it through. Can you deliver? Can your team deliver? Can you partner with someone that can deliver? Can you outsource it out and you act as the project manager? That's rule number one always. Go to the scope of work. Can you do the job? If not, no worries. Wait for the next opportunity. Don't waste your time. But if you can do it, step two, look at your due dates. When are your questions due? When is this proposal due? Jot that down. Now, step three, how do they want it submitted? Do you have to write your proposal and email it? Do you have to put it into their system like Long Beach Buys, Planet Bids? Do you have to submit it through the system? And then finally, how will the contract be awarded? How are they going to evaluate it? Are they looking for just the lowest price technically acceptable? Are they looking for past experience or your capabilities? That's it. It's that easy. I mean,
She makes it sound.
I know she makes it sound really easy, right?
But watching the success she's had,
Right,
breaking
yes,
it down,
yeah.
And the perks that local business people get, I should say, getting extra points for it. How does that work?
so if you're certified, so people often ask, well, do I have to be certified to win a contract? Absolutely not, but it will help you. Long Beach gives a preferential difference to businesses that are certified and have a business license. LA will do the same, Orange County. So depending on where you're doing business, it helps to be certified as a small business.
Yeah.
I
So
do
that
have
was-
a question though.
Yes.
Go ahead, Solomon.
So when you're talking about that process, one of the things that I would imagine most small business would be worried about is scale, because whether you're producing something or whatever. Now, does the scope of work get into scale? Like, if it's like a certain number of products they want produced or anything like that, do they talk about that in that way?
They do. And a lot of times that will come from a request for quote, an RFQ. So, say for my core business, where I started as printing t shirts and in the print apparel business, a lot of customers are the Army, the Navy, the Marines, because they need training gear or apparel, performance, promotion, whatever. So they'll say, Navy Guard, for instance, will say, I need 522 literal quote that I just submitted not long ago, 522 gray hoodies. Do I have the capacity to print 522 gray hoodies in my home office? No. In the time frame that they want? No. So now what's my next step? Because I network so much, because I've done these workshops and I've encountered so many other business owners and small business owners. Now let's partner with some of the print shops that I've become connected to. Together we can get this done. And now I'm going to come over to your print shop. We're going to print these together, and now we're partners on this proposal.
And that's why you want to be attending these
And
workshops.
that's exactly.
For that opportunity to
You
meet.
want to be in attendance to get connected to people. And I tell people, don't just show up to just show up. When you go to events, have a goal.
Right.
Why are you there?
Right.
Who are you meeting? What are you
Who does the
taking
work?
away?
Right.
Yeah,
Who does the work?
exactly.
So a couple things. So I applied and I was accepted. I got as a vendor
Yay.
with the Port of Long Beach.
Nice,
Yay.
Yes,
nice.
thank you. And I wasn't certified, and I didn't. I was a little nervous, to be quite honest with you,
Hmm.
but I didn't realize that you're going through the process and learning and I think the toughest thing for me was remembering where put my EIN number and
Exactly.
what file I put it in. But
Yep.
beyond that, it's pretty straightforward. Um, can you tell us and define a little bit about the relationship of the prime and the sub when it comes to these contracting rules or specs or whatever they are?
Yes. So the prime contractor is the owner of the contract. You're the one that's doing all the interactions with the contract officer. You're obligated and you're contracted to fulfill that contract. You're going to deliver the service. You're going to submit the invoicing. You're going to get payment. You're the prime. The
Okay.
subcontractor is boots on the ground.
Okay.
So the prime may do 60% of the work, and then the other 40%, like the example I just gave with the National Guard and the hoodies.
Hmm.
So I can print this much capacity, but I still need help with the other 200. So I'm going to sub out 200 hoodies to the print shop down the street from me. And now you're the subcontractor because I need you to help me fulfill this contract.
And so during the process, I actually identified my company as a sub,
Hmm.
right? Because I know that I don't have the capacity, some of these larger scopes of work. So I
Right.
just elected to do that. I
Yeah.
think that's an easy way to start.
And I was just about to say the easiest way to start, the lowest barrier of entry is to
Hmm.
start as a
Hmm.
subcontractor. So that way you're learning from the prime. You're not responsible for the contract. You're just making sure that your prime contractor pays you for your piece of the work,
Hmm.
or you're submitting RFQs. So you don't need the past performance, the technical ability. The government is simply telling you, this is what I need. What are you going to charge me for it? You're telling them, this is what I can do. This is what I'm going to charge you for it. That's your RFQ in a nutshell.
Got it.
Start as a subcontractor. And you can be both. I don't always go after the
Oh,
contract as the
I
prime.
didn't know that.
I sub as well.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. I get tired of reading all the documents. Sometimes I just want to do the work.
Yeah.
Well,
Just put me in, coach.
I love that.
one of all these contracts are coming from a variety of resources. For example, the port's going to play a major role in the
Yes.
Olympics, even though they have a million other things going on. They're always requesting. The city of LA, the infrastructure of LA is happening. We talk about having Caltrans out there.
Mhm.
Tremendous amount of expenditure going in there to get Olympic ready.
Yes.
We also are just starting to trickle in the IOC contracts. We had our second one I was interested in, and I read it. It was for advertising and branding. And rather than going after one agency, they wanted many agencies.
Mhm.
And I thought that was so effective for diversity.
Yes.
LA is a million different neighborhoods, languages, all this, wonderful diversity that our state is so proud of. And I was so happy that they did that, which really gave a lot of more interest from smaller agencies.
Mhm.
Do you think more contracts are going to be coming out that way, to sort of open the doors instead of subcontracting, just open it up for a more equitable, relationship of participation of many of these guys coming together to do that job?
Absolutely. And we're already seeing it right now. Like there's one RFP that I have out right now where it's for one piece of work and they broke the scope down.
Mhm.
So I went after the piece for web design, and they could have packaged the web design on top of marketing, on top of communications. But instead of putting it all together into one RFP for one vendor to submit, they broke it down so you can either bid on marketing by itself, the web design by
Mhm.
I
itself,
like that.
communications and PR by itself. So they're going to award multiple pieces
Mhm.
to multiple vendors, and
Right.
we're already seeing it. So it gives more than just that one vendor
Right.
controlling everything. You're now working with this one agency, but with other multiple partners as well.
Yeah, I love that.
And these orgs really want the business to be local. When we
Absolutely.
started doing this, we invited all RAMP, which is the Olympic platform,
Mhm.
Planet Bid, Port.
The
We invited
ports,
them all to
the
send
city of
us their
Long
bids
Beach, and
so we can do a push, an
yes,
informational push to our client base. And we've been doing that, and they've been just so delighted with the results of it. So they're
hmm
pushing more and more stuff to our clients. So make sure you're signed up at SCORE, not only for Dee's workshops, but for the just to receive the RFPs, because we
Right.
are
exactly.
pushing those now,
Yes,
and they're going
and
to get more and more furious
as
as
yeah,
you know
Oh,
we get
because
closer to
absolutely.
the Olympics.
LA 28,
Yeah,
I'm getting at least 2 or 3 a week now
yeah,
Oh,
in
wow.
my inbox. They're
yeah.
already starting
Wow.
to trickle in, and it's I lost my train of thought there.
So, um, so the book's timely
Yeah.
for
Yes,
sure. So
definitely.
I want to know. So you again, you've done a lot of stuff, and now you're an author, self-published author.
Self-published author.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Love story to write this. Painful. What was? Tell us about the experience
You
of
know,
compiling the notes and going through this process.
Well,
of
first you
the-
got to know this is just like attending our workshop.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it is
that's
that.
literally what it
Yeah.
is. The book is literally my notes and my
Oh, how
frequently
cool.
asked questions.
Okay.
So I took Kara's workshop. Kara, and she's
Yes.
been on
She
the
was one of our
podcast.
guests on
Yeah,
here.
Yes.
Remember?
yes, I do.
Right,
Kara
Teach
Stevens.
Spark.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Teach Spark. She did a writing workshop, a SCORE workshop. So I attended that workshop. And so one thing that stuck out that she said was, "Your book is in you. Your frequently asked questions is
Yes, I
your
remember her
book."
saying that. Yep.
And I'm thinking, I have a ton of frequently asked questions. I have a ton of notes. I have a book.
Oh wow.
And so I go and I just start organizing everything because
Mhm.
that's what I do. I research. I heard her say it, but is it viable? Can I read? Can I write?
Yeah.
I don't need to write. I just need to compile and compose and organize all this info and data that I already have. And I love that people say the book is very conversational. It feels like a workshop.
Yes.
I heard that it feels like a mentor session. It's designed for you to literally read and take action. There's literally at the end of every chapter, take action.
Oh wow.
And there's things for you to do to take action to start building your business, your
Oh.
contracting business.
So if you don't have time for the workshops, buy the book.
By the-
Buy the book.
Buy the book anyway.
Buy the book. All right. And where
Where's
can
it?
I get the book?
Yeah.
You can get the book at dlemanagement.com. It's not on Amazon for 2 reasons. Well, mainly for one reason. Again, I'm a researcher, and as a certified mentor, I teach people to do what I do. If you're just starting out as a small business owner, you don't have a lot of money. So use the resources that you have available
Mhm,
to you.
mhm.
Amazon takes, and do your own research. If your book's on Amazon, I'm not knocking Amazon. My book will be on Amazon one day. But just starting out, number one, the profit margin of what they keep versus what they give to the business owner
Mhm.
is disproportionate. And I wasn't a fan of that. And so I've sold more copies of my book on my own, through my own website, through
Mhm.
my own means, than someone who's put their book on Amazon and has had it just sitting there making passive income.
Gotcha.
And so that was one of the reasons I decided to self-publish. I wanted more of the profits, and I'm actively walking out what I teach my clients to
Mm.
do. Do the research and go with what works best for you.
Love it.
Terrific.
So we're at the point. Every episode, we ask our guests to give us our top 3 takeaways, things that you want the listeners to remember that are important to you, the lessons that you've learned that you want to express to them. So, what are your 3 takeaways?
My 3 takeaways would be to get organized early on. You mentioned something of when you started looking for your EIN and where did I put it. Get organized right away. House all your documents in one location, whether it be a folder on your desktop, Google Docs, Dropbox, whatever. Get organized. Track the platforms that you're on. Track your passwords. Track the certifications that you have and when they're going to expire.
Mhm.
You want to have all that. I meet with countless clients that, well, I couldn't log on to Planet Biz because they say I already have a login. Then you probably already have a login that you forgot about. Did
Mhm.
you call the help desk? Let's call. So keep track, get organized right away. That's number 1. Number 2, get help.
Mhm.
Sign up for a mentor. If you can't afford coaching, sign up for a mentor. We're literally here to help you. And that's one thing that I love about SCORE and our chapter in particular is we do have these events that we want to meet with people
Mhm.
in person, and not just us meeting with them, but to bring small businesses together so they can meet and network with each other. So get help early on, whether it's peer to peer or a mentor or invest in coaching and consulting. Just get help to in your business. And number 3, I would say apply what you're learning. There comes a time where you have to stop the research and you actually just have to put your hand to the plow and do it. The only way you're going to learn
Yeah.
is to do it. You learn by failure. Don't be sad that you didn't succeed. Don't be angry. Every failure is a chance to learn and do it right the next time.
Right.
But you got to do it in order to become better at it.
When you fail, you learn. Right?
When you fail, you learn.
Right.
Exactly. People used to say failure's not an option. Well, why not?
Yeah.
That's a fabulous statement. He says, why not? That's where you learn the most.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. I
Well,
love
thank
that.
you so much for
Thank
this
you. Thank you for having me.
sharing all this great knowledge and all that you're doing.
Super excited about all the stuff you're doing. And so I know you're a busy entrepreneur, you're building a business, you're mentoring. What's next for you now? Because you've written the book and you going to make a movie? What are you what I heard you're taking on some other roles, but I don't want to.
I am. So, again, practicing what I preach. Me and a couple of the mentors we have called scheduled this month. And we're going to take the book to the next level. We're going to take the procurement process to the next level. And we're working on some things, putting it in development that's really going to help the business owner, the small business owner, the entrepreneur that want to enter this space. We want to make it as easy as possible for them to enter this space. So we're coming up with training tools and dedicated tools specific to government contracting. We're getting a ton of sporting events over the next 3 years in the LA Long Beach area.
Oh, the Super
So,
Bowl's
the
coming.
Super Bowl is coming, FIFA's coming, the Olympics, the Paralympics. There's money to be had. So we want to give you the tools that you need to succeed. So we're working on training courses and just other projects to really guide the small business owner, if you will. We're going to hold your hand and walk you through it.
That's awesome and reassuring. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything you do. You do a lot of stuff.
She
I
does.
do.
I know. She's really quite remarkable.
I know. She's one of our best.
You know, I raise my hand. I pitch in when I'm needed. You know, and it helps me keep learning. It helps me stay fresh and learning and hearing all the things that's out there. Like, oh, well, I didn't know that tool existed. And so, what am I doing now? I'm researching what I just heard about and learning, so that way I can share the knowledge with someone else. So it's not just hoarding the knowledge for me and how I can enhance my business, but I need to be able to share and speak to what I'm hearing and what people are asking about. So be curious, ask questions, learn, do your research.
Love it. Well, another great show.
I think so.
I think so.
Thank you, Dee. We appreciate it. Thanks for the education on
Yeah.
procurement, and we're super excited. And go to where if you want more information about Dee, she is actually, her website is wherethepromise.com, and you can find her book. You can find all the information about Dee. We have all her socials and stuff in the show notes. Dee, again, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Great conversation. We'll see you guys next time. We're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.